Now, I haven't done any pre-reading when it comes to this article. I just find it incredibly funny. At least the timing of this, of course. If you know anything about Fresh and Fit, I cite them on multiple occasions. I think Myron is very, very sharp and probably the best guy doing what he does. And they are the originators of the entire dating podcast idea that, just Pearly Things rips off, whatever podcast rips off. Bunch of other, fly-by-night organizations. Nobody quite does it as well as Fresh and Fit. And they've also been doing it longer than everybody else has. I think their first after hours, at least the type of content that gets the most headlines, the most value, obviously comes from the daytime shows. You can still take notes and you can understand female nature a little bit better if you listen to Myron break down what the chicks are saying on the after hour show as well. But their first podcasts were right at the end of 2020 and then started to do the after hour show consistently in on and around that time. And everybody else, they've been ripping them off. And about a week or so ago, had a video and a hit piece directed at the Whatever podcast that said that, they just make girls look stupid by letting them talk and express their opinions. Weird little inside dig, but check this out. Fresh and Fit are actually, on a ban right now. They're on a ban right now, and I think it gets lifted Thursday. So their next show is going to be Friday of this week. So given all of the material over the previous 2.5 years, why wait until now? Well, also, the reason that they're banned right now is because they were bullying and harassing Abba and Preach for another channel that's out there. If you haven't heard about them, your life's probably in a better place. Just low quality, out of context reaction shit. They just continue to push lies. Like, there's nothing that you can learn from them. Feel free to go watch them. I'm not going to tell you not to. I just think that your time is valuable and you'd be better served to do other things. But hey man, by all means, you go ahead and have your biases confirmed by a bunch of wannabe Frenchmen that live in fucking Montreal. I couldn't imagine a worse place to live in all of Canada, but to each their own. So long story short, I think it's all working in tandem. I think that there's some collaboration going on right here, because at the time where the guys can't actually speak out on their largest platform right now, you drop this hit piece, and then you also have everything that's going on with Tate right now. So you try to work it all together. Yeah, no, you could have made these connections back when Tate was absolutely popping, but you had so much more material to work on, specifically on Andrew. So now you're trying to pass that crown off to somebody who's actually been doing it more consistently than Andrew and says the exact same stuff. Like, even if you listen to Myron, he says that, I agree with Tate on like 99% of things. So you could have done this before, but you waited until there was a strike on the channel. Good stuff out here. So the new Andrew Tate, toxic manosphere podcaster, claims all women are whores. Is that the best you could do? Take an out of context clip when Zerka was just on the channel like a couple of weeks ago. But realistically, you could have picked something far more inflammatory. But I understand. John McGillian, I don't know, probably just watched a couple of recent interviews, and then, I don't know, you grabbed the oldest picture you could find, because that's from like summer of 2021, for Christ's sakes. Like, fucking update your references, my guy. Andrew Tate may be on house arrest in Romania. Yes, we know. But the manosphere, the disparate collection of pro-masculinity, anti-feminist websites. They got a Fresh and Fit have a channel. Rollo has a blog and a Substack and a YouTube channel. I understand like forums and actual websites were far more popular back in the early 2010s, but okay. Over which he ruled. He's the guy in charge of the manosphere. Okay, cool. I can see that we're going to be in for a very factually based hit piece, over which, yes, he ruled is still going strong. Tate, the British-American social media personality and former professional kickboxer, 4-time world champion, but, who's writing down the specifics, is one of the most Googled men on the planet at one point in time. Yes, more Googled than Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump combined. Still incredibly popular, as goes to show from the premiere of the interview with Patrick Bet-David from earlier in the week, when they had over 150,000 concurrent viewers, so still quite popular. is facing charges of participating in organized crime and acts of human trafficking, which also had some interesting additions to that as well. Shout out to the person that reached out with some additional information. You can go check out that video. I dropped that one on Monday. In the court of public opinion, the 36-year-old stands accused of many of pushing content that glorifies misogyny and radicalizes young men. In the court of public opinion, how many fucking weasel words can we go ahead and point out on this? In the first week of June, a British woman accused Tate of choking her until she lost consciousness, even though she had to be convinced many years later after talking through it with a bunch of, conniving women that it was actually sus. Did that in the same video from, Monday as well, so if you want more on that. Now, as the self-described king of toxic masculinity, he describes himself like that. No, he's debunked that several times, but you go ahead. There's already so much trash going on. Attempts to rehabilitate his image. Other players within the manosphere are attempting to fill his overpriced shoes. Are they overpriced? I don't really know about that. Maybe he got a good deal. Or maybe for him, it doesn't really matter, and you're just trying to use a terrible little side dig. One who is quickly causing controversy. He's been in the game for a long time. I don't know where this is coming from. Although his 249,000 Instagram follower tally is a far cry from Tate's 4.6 million before Tate was banned. Actually, I think Myron just crossed 250,000. But Walt Fresh has 1.3 million. And it's not like Myron's all that active on social media anyways, but okay. And I don't know why it's supposed to be a flex. Like, he's a podcast host. You should just go with the podcast channel that has 1.41 million subscribers on YouTube, and the Rumble channel that's 200K on the way. Let's go. But yes, this young up-and-comer, he's a month older than I am, by the way. Is Myron Gaines, which, full transparency, I've actually talked with Myron very briefly earlier this year as well. And I make mention of him just about every single time these type of topics come up, because I think he's the best guy at what he does. His talking points are bulletproof, and the way that he can handle very tense situations is second to none by anybody else who opines on these topics, at least from who I've heard of. Tate's incredibly good at winning over the room, but somebody who comes in and does this stuff every single day. It's like, to me, in my opinion, the funniest guy to ever sit in front of a microphone on a day-in, day-out basis is Anthony Cumia. Are there funnier people that come through every once in a while? Like Patrice O'Neill. Arguably was probably better radio, but didn't do it consistently. Anthony Cumia, every single day in the saddle. That's what we have right here with Myron and with Andrew. So I digress. Back to this very factually sound story. Co-host of the Fresh and Fit podcast, and he also has his own channel, Fed Reacts, which is a very good true crime channel, which markets itself as the #1 men's podcast in the world. Yes, what did it used to refer to itself as? The #1 men's self-improvement podcast in the world, and then probably at the beginning of 2022, midway through 2022, they changed it over to the #1 men's podcast in the world, because we are better than you, African Americans. There you go, basketball Americans, whatever you want to call it. See, that's maybe a little bit better of a picture, okay? At least that comes from his Instagram account that you wanted to go ahead and reference right up there. He only has a 250,000 followers. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. Gaines, aka Fit, aka government name, is also out there as well. Offers men's advice on everything from fitness to finance, sex to sobriety. Yeah, exactly. What a terrible message that's out there. Get your fitness on point. Unacceptable to be fat, and insert the year here. Finances, yes. Make your goddamn money. Sex, well, you got to be experienced in today's day and age, because guess what? These bitches out here fucking. And sobriety. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my god, this degenerate guy out there saying that he's never taken a drug in his life and doesn't really drink like that. Yeah, what a degenerate message that he's pushing out there. Anyways, he is also a vocal proponent of the red pill philosophy that encourages men to wake up to the realities of the current mating, dating, political, world, societal issues in general, really. And that's kind of what you're dealing with. You want to take a look at the red pill holistically, but like many other detractors, they just simply think that, oh, Fresh and Fit, that's just that podcast that kicks unruly bitches off the panel. They just get a bunch of ratchet bitches that's down there. Again, they got an entire daytime show that they do 3 times a week, but that's all right. If you're in a serious relationship with a girl, oh, here comes the quote farming. With a girl, she should not have an Instagram account. That's cheating. See the nice long break that's right there? But yeah, no, if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, yeah, why would you have her out there promoting herself? Because Instagram is the biggest dating app in the world. A chick posting sexy content while you're in a relationship with them is unacceptable. That's cheating right there. You're soliciting attention. Come on now. He said, comparing it to a woman having a for sale sign around her neck. Yeah, no, that checks out if you go ahead and say, well, women are property. Well, if you just go along with the fucking analogy, the sign of an enlightened mind is that you can engage in hypotheticals. But if you get hung up on that, well, sorry about your 30 IQ. Earlier this year, in an interview with Cheyenne Reynolds, oh, that was that grilling episode. That shit is hilarious. He absolutely dog-walked that single mother. Gaines said that men should never fall in love with women because you start to lose ground and you start to lose that rational thought. Yeah, true. Are you also going to, fill in the blanks that he says, yes, have love for a woman, but don't fall in love with women, because then men start to operate in an emotional frame as opposed to a logical frame. Like, it makes sense if you listen to the full fucking context of the quote that you're trying to take out. Earlier men, he told Reynolds, love women idealistically. Women, on the other hand, love men from an opportunistic standpoint. Yeah, exactly. Who initiates all of the divorces? 80% of them. You can no longer satisfy that woman. She is out of there. You can no longer provide that provisioning or protection. She's out of there. Nothing wrong with that. Just understand it. None of this is a condemnation, even though you want to read it. And shout out to Rollo for this one. I'll paraphrase it, but the impartial assessment, or rather the empirical relaying of facts, can come across as being hateful. That's the way that it is. Just understand the world how it is instead of what you want it to be. Stop addressing situations the way that you think they should be. Start dealing with things the way that it is, and then you will be shocked at how much you can accomplish. Anyways, there he is as a former member of, or a former special agent at Homeland Security, okay? Wearing a very racist t-shirt. In another YouTube clip, there's thousands of hours if you'd like to comb through all of it, but I understand you can only watch clips, so you know that this is going to be a good one. Gaines said that women aren't valued for accomplishments. In the sexual marketplace? No, not really. It's kind of superfluous information. They are valued for their beauty. As they get older, your value goes down. Yeah, exactly. Duh. Ta-da. According to his LinkedIn bio, Gaines helps men transform from simps to pimps, providing uncomfortable truths. Yeah, exactly. In his book, Why Women Deserve Less, which actually, kind of got my copy right here. It was a good read, short read, because you know why? Women deserve less. He writes, the relationship between most men and women throughout all of history has been transactional. It has been prostitution. Yes, again, engage in hypothetical, but, you don't need to do that. You got a word cap on here, obviously. All men are Johns, all women are whores. I'm actually going to try to find that passage, but that's nice if you're going to go ahead and quote that. I couldn't find it. Hey man, it's only 80 pages, but then at the same time I got to be cognizant of the time of this video and then also of my own as well. You just go ahead and read, one of the opening passages that's right there, which, oh, okay, cool. He's this awful misogynist that just cast in the light of Andrew Tate. Could you imagine somebody writing such vitriolic lines, especially in the first few pages of his first ever published work? This book does not call for refusing to help your fellow human if it's a woman, nor does it call for refusing to work, interact, or socialize with women in society. It is to prevent you from wasting your resources on unreciprocated romantic pursuit of women to the point it ruins your life. Yeah, sounds like somebody that absolutely detests women, right? On the podcast, Gaines and his co-host, Walter Weeks, fresh, think about this, length or girth. For example, my job on the podcast is to provide value. I network. I'm behind the scenes. Regularly refer to women as hoes or 304s. Well, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, you know that bitch like to fuck. Gaines regularly tells his male followers to lie or exaggerate. Well, actually, no, that's more Walt's input where he's trying to sell him a dream, but okay. Or exaggerate things like the number of women they've had sex with. No, I don't think, no, I actually think that's a lie. He doesn't say that at all. Yeah, to their partner to sleep with as many women as possible. No, that's just a lie. There's no validity to that at all whatsoever. He also advocates for dating multiple women at one time. Yeah, exactly. if you have the fiduciary means to do as much, if you have the ability to protect, provide, and provision for those women, then yeah, do that to your heart's content. If that is something that you desire and you have the ability to, and you have the willing participants, it's not like you're chaining these bitches up to the stove or, you know, putting a ball and chain around the counter, and if those hoes want to leave, just feeding them a steady diet of uppercuts. I don't quite think that's what he's advocating for, but, you know, I've only watched, watched and listened to hundreds of hours of the content, but no, come on. Like Tate, who has appeared on Fresh and Fit podcast many times, like 8, 10, somewhere between 10 and 15 separate appearances. Gaines regularly warns men against getting romantically involved with single mothers. Exactly. They are, repeat after me, recreational use only. When a woman has a child, he said on one podcast episode, well, here's the point in time where you can just go ahead and say, well, on multiple podcast episodes, there is no upside for you as a man coming in and taking care of that child. The stepdaddy game is an L for most guys. Exactly. What's wrong with that statement right there? You have all the responsibility with zero authority. And the moment, especially if the father is still alive and in the situation right there, that kid is either going to be used as a pawn or it's going to be used as a wedge issue. And if you have alternate women in your life, and you don't have to deal with somebody who has a built-in headache, that's fucking fact of life. Shit happens, bro, but those are the facts. Sadia Khan, a relationship expert, this is going to suck, and psychologist who debated Andrew Tate last year, I'm sure that sucked, said of Gaines, the message he gives is designed for men who have faced severe rejection in life. Sure, who hurt you? And as a result, developed a distaste towards women as a way of protecting their own ego. Again, like, I've outlined the message as somebody who has understood RP long before I found Fresh and Fit, but then also cultivated and connected some dots by listening to the content and the guys that they have on the show as well. But yes, by telling men to become men of value, becoming a formidable man by understanding your own value and stop pedestalizing women, which, yes, why women deserve less, because most women do, and guys overtly simp on them, to the point where it becomes a net negative for them. But no, that's just your ego. We can't be hurt if we reject the very thing we believe we're incapable of obtaining. Oh, yeah, okay. Tell that to the guy who has 1, 2, 3, 4 girls? Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, you go for that. Hey, you go. Yes, they found the one screenshot of Myron online where he's screaming at the camera. Oh my God, how could you ever find such an exclusive clip? Instead of teaching men how to be more attractive human beings, he teaches them how to remove their attraction towards women and replace it with games and tactics. That's, again, like, that's just wrong. That's just flat out fucking wrong. Though this may get you laid, it will inevitably lead you only attracting broken women with severe issues. Exactly. You just want, the only reason that guys like you like young women is because they're impressionable. Sure thing, sweetheart. You don't even fucking understand what's going on. You don't listen to the message at all whatsoever. It's the same people that say, oh, those RP guys is just all about hookup. Meanwhile, okay, what are they, like I've said before, they've got the 3 daytime shows. What's the show on Monday about? Oh, Money Monday, right? Yeah, that's all about getting bitches, right? Sure thing. The Wednesday show, sure, you could argue that as well. Womanizer Wednesday, showing you examples of, bitches that are out there finessing and running games on you. And then on Friday when they have the guest, or they have a call-in show where they listen to guys and diagnose their problems. No. That's just all about, teaching guys how to play games and use tactics in order to get box. Sure thing. In short, concluded the Dubai-based psychologist, if you're a virgin and you want to remain one, follow his advice. Sure thing. Somebody who has adhered to those principles long before understanding and seeing the podcast. Well, yeah, I hear your message, lady. I hear you, and I'm walking testament that that's just flat out not true. A proud Muslim like Tate. And again, if you did any sort of cursory research, you would know that Myron says that he's not the best Muslim, but he grew up in a Muslim household. But okay. Like Tate, Gaines believes in the Islamic tradition of making females cover their bodies. Oh my God, how disingenuous is this shit? Protect a woman's modesty by shielding them from the dark side of male sexuality. Yeah, because you have the overcorrection in society right now where you got bitches running out basically with fucking pasties on their chest and little boy shorts, and then going back and complaining how I was catcalled and sexualized out in public. Okay, fine. Gaines grew up in New Britain, Connecticut. Thought it was New Haven, but he's also born in New York City. Like, come on, man. Why do you need to get any sort of, any particulars correct? He said his mother from Sudan was a stay-at-home parent, and his father came from the United States. Both of them were from Sudan, by the way. Like, he's a first-generation African-American. United States poor, worked his way up. Prior to entering the manosphere, he went by the name, yes, that's his government name, and attended Northwestern University, where he studied, yes, he got a bachelor in CJ, and represented the university rowing team. Yes, he was on the rowing team, imagine that. Yeah, his mother was a stay-at-home mother, and then, yeah, when his father, who was a cabbie, got assaulted and had a broken leg or a broken arm or something, like that. She ended up, having to fill in for a second as well. So yeah, they were almost like, what's that word? Like a successful couple and a good role model for Myron growing up. Yeah, imagine that. No, but somebody clearly heard him in order for him to adopt these ideas. Unbelievable. But I've seen this caption before. Okay, that kind of clued me into this hit piece that's out there. Okay, I think we all know all three of those people that are in there, but this is the New York Post after all, and just goes to show you just the absolute lack of research into this topic. So obviously, what do you see right there? Okay, you got Walt, and you got Walt on the left there. You've got Myron on the right, and who's that guy in the middle? Who's the guy with the beanie? That's right. We all know that's fucking Tim Pool, right? Take a look at the description on this. Gaines, far right, with Weeks on the left, and another man. Come on, man, and another man. He's arguably the most famous person that's there. Okay. In that picture, and Tim Pool, just another man. Wow. L in the chat for our short kings. After graduation, right, this is going back about Myron's biography. He served as special agent with Homeland Security in both Laredo, Texas, Miami, Florida, and did his internship in Boston. Yeah, I know. He resigned from the job in 2020, after he was placed with an ultimatum where either you can continue doing the podcast, or, you can resign from your position because government wanted him to stop talking the way that he did. An avid Trump supporter. That's the only true thing that you've said so far. Another thing Gaines has in common with Tate. Again, hey, back to back. Hey, they're on a bit of a roll here. Gaines has amassed a cult-like following on social media, I guess, with his short videos racking up hundreds of millions of views if he hadn't been banned off TikTok multiple different times. But I think the podcast channel has over 100 million views, and the clips channel as well, same thing. So hundreds of millions of views of his clips. So, okay. Yeah, he has 1.41 million subscribers on YouTube. Oh my God, that's a woman's name, Destiny. Stephen Bunnell, a gamer, political commentator, and YouTube personality, has 666,000 subscribers, has a nice blue haircut, and a free use wife who uses Baecel as toothpaste, has appeared on Fresh and Fit podcast numerous times. Yeah, no, that's fair, like a half dozen times. He told the Post, yo, you're giving... Holy fuck, man. If I didn't have any less respect for this fucker, he's providing... This is how you know that Destiny's a total fucking snake. He's providing comment on a hit piece. Trying to take down somebody that you're at least friendly... What a fucking snake. He told the Post that he agrees with Gaines on many things, including the idea that men are judged much more harshly on their accomplishments than women when it comes to dating value in general. Okay. Maybe I was a little bit too harsh if that's the only statement that they're going to use. And then, okay, so they went and talked to Ali as well, Real Femme Sapien. Interesting. Okay, society, added the influencer, seems to be a bit more provocative or protective of women's feelings. Destiny calls Gaines an acquaintance, but not a friend. Right, because in another clip I seen of Destiny as well, he just referred to all of the red pill guys that are out there as just all easy work, and they have, sub 100 IQs. You can find that clip that's out there. I was like, wow, what a fucking piece of shit. But anyways, Alyssa Drummond, yes, a cultural commentator intimately familiar with the work of Gaines. She's been on the podcast several times, and I think that she recently took a step back because she's about to have her first child. Told the Post that Myron is actually one of the good guys, believe it or not. Yeah, exactly. His delivery is harsh, but the content of what he's saying, if you can get out of your feelings for a second, is easily the best that's out there. I've worked with many Red Pill Manosphere content creators. That is true. Can verify that. One of the problems with the manosphere and its content creators involves how much a person on screen matches the individual in real life. I would imagine so. Like I said, had a very, very, very brief interaction. I'm not going to play it out like we had this long drawn out conversation, but I've talked very briefly with Myron, and yeah, no, very brief conversations. Everything seemed to line up, so can confirm, man. And they found what again, like, who the fuck sourced these pictures? Like, Ali, okay, that's again, at least from Christmas, but That might have been from Christmas 2021, for Christ's sakes, but Destiny's had blue hair for the better part of, a year and change at this point, so come on now. With Gaines, she said, "What you see is what you get. I never felt disrespected by him and have been treated well." See, that's why they just put this stuff all the way at the bottom. When Drummond, who considers herself a trad wife, a woman who advocates for the recognition of traditional gender roles within a patriarchal marriage, first appeared on the Fresh and Fit podcast, Gaines comped her Lyft ride and also took her out for sushi. How awful. How awful. He takes care of his guests. Misogyny. Listening to a man like Myron on how to become attractive to women is like listening... What the fuck? Listening to Whitler on how to celebrate Hanukkah. Khan said... Oh, going back to that... somebody diagnosing a couple of clips as opposed to, somebody who's like, he's a really great guy. He's congruent to what you see is what you get. I paid for my ride back from the studio, and then us and the crew, because if they went out for sushi afterwards, it would have been the entire crew that would have gone out. So this wasn't like a one-on-one affair trying to allude that he was hooking up with Allie. No, she's very much married. Okay, see what you try to do there, and then just try to run it back around. Oh, see how much of a far-right extremist he is. He's a Trump supporter, just like that evil Andrew Tate. It's also funny, not pointing out how far left Destiny is just kind of goes to show you just the disingenuous nature of this entire article. And I was expecting worse. I just also didn't anticipate just the obvious lies where it's like, just lie to chicks in order to run up your body count. As far as I know, like Myron's never said that, but that's what the New York Post wants to say at a time when the guys are completely and totally silenced on YouTube. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a coordinated attack or anything like that. No, of course not. Of course not. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.